So today we're going to talk about patterns.
You get it? Patterns? Patterns are any repetitive design. So one dot is not a pattern, but as soon as you start repeating dots, this is a pattern.
And specifically, we're going to talk about a type of patterned art called Zentangles. Zentangles are a very peaceful way of making art. The creators of Zentangling believe that you can meditate while you make these patterns. They feel that you can come to a state of Zen or peace while you're drawing these patterns, which they call tangles, which is why they call it Zentangles. Now, there are so many different examples of these Zentangles out there. They sell books, they have websites, they have YouTube videos just like this one that kind of can show you a bunch of different examples and how-tos and step-by-steps so that it really can kind of take the stress out of this type of art because you don't always have the pressure of coming up with your own patterns. You can use these ones that you've learned and just let your mind wander, let your hand wander, and really feel that meditative peace while you're drawing.
I love using Zentangles in my artwork, and if you've been in my class before, you know we've used Zentangles in lots of different projects.
So I love Zentangles because I think that they can represent diversity. Zentangle patterns are all so different, and we know that diversity means different. When we talk about diversity among people, we all have different likes, different dislikes. We all have different thoughts and talents. We look different. We talk different. We believe in different things. And all of these differences make us more fun and exciting as a group. They make us stronger to be different. And even though we're all people, we are all different. And even though Zentangles are all patterns, they are all different. And in both cases, these differences, this diversity, is beautiful. So today I'm going to teach you some of my favorite Zentangle patterns, and I'm going to get you started on some Zentangle art. All you're going to need is a piece of paper and whatever you like to draw with. So let's get started.
For the purposes of this video, I have separated these patterns into 7 categories. The first is lines, and we have to think about how can we draw our lines so that they're interesting? Can we break them up, change the directions? We can even see that if we change directions of curves, it can sometimes give us an optical illusion like it's jumping out of the paper or pushing into the paper. Next, let's use circles to make patterns. We also need to think about how to use contrast. Instead of just using lines, fill in some spaces. I'm only using black for this project, but you could use any color to fill it in and make it interesting. In the next category of patterns, we start them all basically the same by drawing boxes. Draw lines in one direction and then 90 degrees in the other to make lots of squares next to each other. And then we have choices of how we fill them in. It could be very simple, it could be very intricate, but these boxes give us structure of how to make our patterns. This is my favorite pattern to make with boxes. Similar to boxes, now we're going to start with zigzags. Start by drawing lines going in one direction. Here I have them going vertical. And then draw opposite diagonal lines going in between each of your vertical lines. This will give you your zigzag, and then you can repeat that to fill in your space. And now you decide how to decorate it. Again, it can be simple, but think about how you can have dark tones, medium tones, and light tones to make it interesting and different. You can also vary the shape, the sizes of your zigzags. Our next category looks a little bit like fish scales to me. For this pattern type, you start at the bottom of your space and draw curved lines going all the way across. And then you draw curved lines above it, going from the middle of one curve to the middle of the one next to it to make another row. And you keep going until you fill in the space. And then again, you have a choice to decorate it. These are just bare bones of patterns. You can change them. You can make them your own. They don't have to be what I'm showing you here. These are just examples. Now let's think about repeating shapes for patterns. They could be structured and in lines like these first triangles, or they could be more organic and all over the place like these ones. Also take some inspiration from things around you to make new patterns. These last three ones could be something that you could find in nature. My last category is whatever you can think of. Use your imagination. Draw shapes that you like. Draw words that you like. Whatever you can think of to fill the space in an interesting way. Now let's put our patterns into art. If you just Google Zentangle art, you'll see that there's lots of examples out there. Some artists use very intricate shapes to put their patterns in. Just look at that owl. The creators of Zentangle say that you should start small. Use a small piece of paper, put dots in each corner, and then connect those dots with lines. Now you can fill in that shape with whatever Zentangles you like. I'd like to spend a little bit more time on my art, so I'm going to get a bigger piece of paper. But I need to find a way to frame my art just like the creators did with their dots and lines. I'm going to find some circular objects that I can trace over and over again on my paper. I want to make some spaces that I can fill with Zentangles, but you could do this with just lines all over your paper if you prefer. And then just pick your favorite Zentangles, put them inside or outside your shapes until you got what you like. Let's see what we can do. Bam! Surprise, everybody! I added the word diversity so I could really celebrate it in my art. Here is my finished Zentangle artwork for the day.
So I really hope that while you're making this art, you can really think about differences and diversity and how different things and different people can make us all stronger. Have fun with this art and have a great day, everyone.